Hey, the do dirties feel like Hunter Biden's laptop is not near as bad as
Trump University?
Trump University or voting for Trump or something like that. But we got the proof. We're gonna play it for you so that you can hear it yourself. It's kind of weird. I don't know how they came up with that. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Too Strong, where Too Strong is always better than one. Today it's myself and downtown Marlon Brown, baby. We are in the house. We got a bunch of do I call them a bunch or a few or just some do dirties?
A
Right?
couple. We'll say a couple.
Yeah, a couple or a few do dirties. I hope it's not. I really, truly, sincerely, and seriously hope that these are like excuse me, the only few people in the world that literally feel like this, regardless to what side of the field you on, whether you are conservative, Democrat, left, far right, far left, a rhino,
Far out,
crazy, like whatever. This is just absolutely ridiculous to feel this way, no matter where you stand. Now, even if you are a Biden yourself, even if you are Hunter, I mean, like, how do you feel this bad? How do you hate a man that much that where you can say what we're gonna play for you? It's ridiculous.
It's easy when you're crazy and high all the time. He's also an atheist. That should explain a whole lot.
Oh well, that explains more.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They call him one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse when it comes to atheism.
Wow. Now, keep in mind when we play this, you all, you may have to catch it live because YouTube might make us take it out.
Might.
But this is for educational purposes, for discussion purposes. We're trying to break something down to show the difference in the minds of certain people. It's a study research that we're doing, so please do not make us take this down. But just in case you're watching this now after the live and it's not there, then that's why, because we probably had to clip it out. So, but we're gonna go ahead and take our chances,
yeah.
and try, because it's like it's one of those things that you got to hear it. There's no way to get around it, and we tried, but it ain't. We got to play it.
Like we always say, we need to have it from the horse's mouth because
Yeah,
there
because
ain't no better.
this here, if we play this, I mean, if we just tell you, I promise you, you're gonna be like, nah, they
couldn't have possibly said.
They're not. Nah, this time they lying.
But you're not gonna be blind. Here we go. All right, you ready? All right. Don't say it wouldn't warn.
It's not like it's like the way I would frame it is, listen, I don't care what's in Hunter Biden's. I mean, Hunter Biden at that point, Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement. I would not have cared, right? It's like there's nothing. First of all, it's Hunter Biden, right? It's not Joe Biden. But even if whatever scope of Joe Biden's corruption is, like if we could just go down that rabbit hole endlessly and understand that he's getting kickbacks from Hunter Biden's deals in Ukraine or wherever else, right? Or China, it is infinitesimal compared to the corruption we know Trump is involved in. It's like a firefly to the sun, right? I mean, like there's just it doesn't even stack up against Trump University, right? Trump University as a story is worse than anything that could be in Hunter Biden's laptop, in my view, right? Now that doesn't answer the people who say it's still completely unfair to not have looked at the laptop in a timely way and to have shut down the New York Post's Twitter account. Like that's just a conspiracy. That's a left-wing conspiracy to deny the presidency to Donald Trump. Absolutely, it was. Absolutely, right? But I think it was warranted. right? And again, it's a coin toss as to whether or not
Sam, I'm sorry.
that particular piece.
I'm really sorry. I was the one that said we should move
Yeah,
on, but you've just
Go
said something I really struggle
Go for
with
it.
there, which is
the
you
kid,
support
the kids in the basement.
you. No, fuck the kids in the basement. I'm interested in democracy.
Yeah. Okay. The odd thing is we touched on this topic yesterday. We went in depth into this topic of child abuse. And I couldn't continue because it hurt. Corey muscled through. But we touched on this. You're listening to a man, listening to a man say that you could have the corpses of children in the basement of Hunter Biden's house, and that is worse than Trump University or Trump being in office. It's not as bad as Trump being in office. Huh.
Yeah, that is that's super sick. And to think that people, anybody can think like that is extremely disturbing. And the fact that they willing to get on a camera, any kind of camera, a TV, camera, a telephone, anything, a tape recorder, to say that and know that after you say it, everything is going to be all right. After you say it, you have become more wealthy or made that much more money for saying it. And you okay with that. And his listeners are okay with listening to him say that and then be okay with that. If that don't explain the new climate of today, I don't know what else needs to be done right in your face to get you to understand that this is something just not right about this. Like, I don't have the right words, and even if I did, I can't even say them on here right now, but let's leave it at minimum, you should know that something is not right. A man is saying, well, before we vote this guy in, we should just justify what Hunter Biden did on these tapes and F the kids.
Okay.
In the basement.
Yeah. You're a host. Okay. You're the host. And you bring up something that, it concerns me. And he says he knew exactly what would distress some people because he brought that particular point up. You know what I mean? The kids in the basement thing, that's what's going to distress you? Like, it shouldn't. And then the guy says, nah, forget them kids. I'm worried about democracy.
Yeah. And he said it in a way that, no, I want to be heard, that I made this clear. I said.
Exactly. And
it's worse than that. And anybody that continue to support him, you a demon. I want to say that you evil. But anybody that can sit there and listen to either one of them guys and support them, I call that a demon. I don't listen. Let me tell you something. I cannot stand Barack Obama. Can't stand the man. I cannot stand Joe Biden. Cannot stand him. But there's no way that I could want. I could say that about either one of the kids. I could watch or condone something like that being done to their children. I mean, that is a whole nother level, like a way far out level that we have not even experienced. Well, I guess we are experiencing that we didn't know existed. That you can be that evil to get on TV and say that, and I say this to people all the time. one thing you can't do is you cannot just open it, because you know the mind be coming up with all kind of crazy stuff. I'm sure we've all had some crazy thoughts, and if you say them out loud, everybody gonna be like, what? Some stuff you just don't say. Some thoughts you just don't tell people that was in your head. Not that you're gonna act on them or you crazy, but some stuff that come in your head, you just don't say it. And honest to God, if that thought ever was to come in my head, I would hope that I would tell my wife and say, baby, listen, I gotta get some help. And I'm not even trying to be funny, like at all, 0%. I'm dead serious. I think I need some help, because I think it's okay or somehow justified to do these kind of things to kids. And I think that, however, any man ran his university or ran the country is worse than that. I don't know. That's a serious mental issue.
Do you think you would actually be there?
Do I think what now?
Do you think you would, if you have that in your head and said it out loud, that you'd be in a space to say you need help?
No, that's why I said I would hope.
Yeah. I don't know that you would, man. I think you might, if you were coherent enough to say
in
that
my mind right now today,
as a coherent thinker,
I would hope.
Yeah.
I would hope and pray that if I ever thought like that I would have enough give a F in me left to tell my wife, baby, I need some help. You know, I listen. I told her before we got married, I said, look, one thing I don't play is I don't do, you know, we went over a few things, but one thing is don't ever call the police on me if we ever have any kind of misunderstanding. And we've never, and thank God we've never ever went there, like at all, to where nothing like that. I'm proud to say that. But I don't play with the police, calling the police on you. Do that, we're done. But there's a but in there. If I ever become dangerous to anybody in this house, take me out if you have to. Call the police, do whatever you need to do. You know, because sometimes you just don't never know where the mind might go. But if it ever go there, I would hope that somebody around me, I would hope that I would feel comfortable enough to say it to somebody that can literally say, hey man, you need some help. And if I don't take the help, they force me to get the help, because that right there is going too far. It went too far. And then to play it, to be able to play this and people listen to it and people are okay with it. Listen, you just can't, man. I'm lost for words, really, to tell you the truth. I just don't. That's sickening to me.
The thing about Sam, educated fool is what comes to mind. He's revered as a scholar. Okay, people understand he's revered as a scholar.
That's why I say these kind of people dangerous.
Yeah, and he is known for his intellectual prowess around people who he considers lesser, which are usually the Christians. He hates Christianity to the nth degree. He hates anything to do with God, and has said as much. Has called God all kinds of names. So it's not far-fetched that he would think that pedophilia is better than a so-called scam with a college. Now, stepping out on a limb, and I'm going to ask Corey a question. If you defend pedophilic behavior and abhorrent activity, what will that tell you about what I feel about pedophilia? If I defend it, hand fist defend pedophilia in a manner like he did, what would that tell you about me?
You're a devil. That's it.
Or I am one.
Oh, well, if you're a devil, you're all of the above, because you'll do anything.
Okay.
And that's why I didn't limit it to just being a pedophile. Mm-hmm. Because if you feel that way, to me, you're a devil. And a devil will do anything.
Anything.
And I just don't, man, I can't even come up with what I'm trying to.
This was me yesterday.
Yeah, it's so demonic that how could you dare? Like, even if you listen, I could be, because I don't hate nobody, but I could be at a stage where we had a bad business deal or some, some street beef, from back, anything, like any anything, man. And for me to feel that way about anybody, and to try to defend that on listen, that could have been my son that did something like that. And I will get right on here and tell you that he's a low down, evil, dirty, rotten piece of shit. I don't care who it is. You just cannot compare that to any presidency or any university scam or any of that. Let's even say, for argument's sake, that Trump is guilty of doing that. It's still super sickening to even feel that way or have it in your head, and let alone to come out and say it and feel comfortable saying it. I don't even want to I'm gonna leave that alone because it ain't gonna come out right.
Well, it'll
Because
come out. It'll come out right.
it's not gonna come out right, because what he doing is, now this is my, and forgive me if I'm wrong. What he doing is he's deflecting and doing what's typically done is the low key. See what has happened here is that the audience pretty much kind of know that we will call you out.
Well, in this case,
And I don't want to even play with him today.
I'm trying to go back to see if there's a history here.
It is.
But if there is a solution, yes, there is a solution. There's a big solution.
And one of them is to not be acting like you act and playing these silly games. That's the one big solution, because he always watch us and he know that we have solutions, and he know we don't just ramble on. So for him to ask that, it's almost like coming to my house that you eat at every day and say, well, is there something to eat here today? You being sarcastic and you low-key trolling. Now that's just what I see. And I see good.
Don't let the four eyes fool you.
Yeah, don't trust me on that one.
You only got two that look.
Yeah.
My question to, okay, and you mentioned something earlier on, and in the words of the other guys, it stood out to me. You said that you don't quite get how people can say the things that they said. So my question to you then is, does this explain more to you why people are okay with the kinds of drag shows and trans this and the sexual natures being put on children, because they really don't see any value in children? Like, as a whole, the people that think like Sam, on a whole, do you see them as not recognizing anything positive in children that's wholesome enough to preserve, and they see them more as blank canvases to write indoctrination and crap on?
Well, that's a big question. That's a bigger question than what it sounds, but I'm gonna answer it like this. My answer is yes, and come after that, I think it's much more to it. I think that this is so demonic. Like, it's so, they don't find value in anything except evil. That's it. I mean, that's what they just said. The value is in the evil. There's no love there. It's all hate, it's all evil. Like, no love. Them three are subject to get up at any given moment and do anything to anybody in any given situation, and you cannot trust them for any amount of seconds. That is White Stone. All right, listen, y'all. All right.
I can tell you why we should care, because he has pull.
Well,
he has influence, and he'll influence the people. Now, look at church today. Church today has very little to do with God, but it has a lot of this going on, right? In educated talk. Look at how TD Jakes talks. Look at how Mr. Ada, they talk like they sound educated. So the education portion of things takes precedence. And when people hear smart people talk, they take note and they listen. That's why we have to be concerned about what he said. Look, the devil wasn't godly, but Eve listened because he talked a certain way to get a hold of Eve. So that's why we should care what he says, because what he says will pull a lot of people and will sway a lot of people.
Yeah, that is a man. I'm trying to be nice today, man.
It's a tough subject because of how they approached it.
Let me just say it, man. That's really to me. That's another one of those elementary, low key bashing statements. In other words, let me translate. Why are we talking about this? We can find something else to talk about. So if you don't care, I get it. Don't care. Don't. If you have to ask, do we care? It says a lot. I mean, and it's one of those things. It's one of those things. I got you, Brown. It's one of them things that you might want to question the way you're thinking. Like I said earlier, how do you not see why we should care about a person that has enough influence to get on a national television and say something like that? We shouldn't have to wonder if we should care. And then, and I find it kind of odd when people jump on the line and ask us, why do we care about this, or who cares? You do care. And you should. You're right by caring, because if you didn't care, you wouldn't be here listening. Why are you listening? Why are you taking the time out to comment on it? Because hopefully because you care. Of course we should care. How do you not care? That'd be a better question.
It's different. It's no different than if Joe says something, Joe Biden says something. We know he's worthless, right? But it matters what he says because what he says has weight.
Period. Like, how do you?
And we have to be concerned about what he says, because sometimes what he says will affect me directly. Now, what Sam is saying directly affected the election. Like 100%, whether you talk, we're not even talking about election time. We're talking about precursor to the election, information-wise. And he is okay with it affecting the election because he didn't want. Understand, this is not just a logic when it comes to children. It's a logic when it comes to right and wrong. This is them talking. I am more than happy to limit right because what I see as right needs to win. Limit information if it means that I win. That's how they think. Now, if it's on the other foot, no, we need to know everything. We need to know everything so we can make an informed decision. The shoe's on the other foot. Don't sequester that. No, we need to make sure that stays quiet. Stay quiet. No. Because we don't want Trump to win. Now, how much you got, and Corey said it before, how much you had to hate somebody that the information about the other person abusing children is not important to you as long as the other person doesn't win.
Thank you, man. Thanks. I appreciate that.
How? I need somebody to explain that to me.
And man, I'm being nice, and I really am, but I really want to know. I guess I kind of feel insulted. I do feel insulted for somebody to ask me, do I care about something like that? And then to insinuate.
We ain't talking to you, lady.
Right. And then they let you know they always listen. And then to insinuate that we shouldn't.
The insanity continues. And this will go on. As long as we stay quiet, it'll go on.
Yeah.
Sam is fine. So are the two clowns sitting with him. And yeah, if you watch this show, we calling you, all three of you, clowns. There are other words we could pick for you. We just know that we don't have as much pull as you to get it left on YouTube. There are plenty other words that we want to use against you. But understand that if you might know what we think think the worst, and we're thinking it about you. I'm going to put that on your plate. The bigger problem here, aside from Sam and the two fools and Joe and politics, aside from all that, it is the recklessness with which they all three, the big fat one that was on stage with the glasses, laughed at the fact that you said F the kids. I'm going to say about that one, he looked like he definitely has done some stuff with children.
Oh,
He
they
looked
all
like
have.
it.
They
He
all
looked like it, for sure looked like it. Now, you could laugh at the demise. Now, remember, Sam said the corpses. That's very pivotal, which means that Hunter is also into necrophilia. I want you to see how far this man's mind went to say this statement. We need to have you understand how far his mind went. He went so far as to say that Hunter Biden could have captured, killed, and had some fun with dead children in his basement, and it is not as bad as Trump University. And it's better to keep that sequestered for the sake of Trump not winning. And even if Joe Biden made money off of those activities, that's okay as long as Trump didn't win.
That's nuts. That is nuts. And how I don't, again, and I'm trying not to harp on it because I don't want to, I'm not necessarily trying to single nobody out right now, but it's hard for me to comprehend that you ask a question like that. That would be just as, listen, that's more offensive than me walking in the house and asking my wife, are you gonna cook today? When she cook every day. When we show y'all over and over that we care. When we constantly give solutions to these problems every day. The best that we can. We research this stuff. We live our life based around this stuff so that we can bring the information forward. We are committed to doing this every 5 days a week and then extra days because we work 7 days a week. And to ask, why do we care about a man that said that those things are okay or those things are not as bad as a college? Let's say that he beat every college student out of all their money and didn't give nobody education and made $1 billion. Okay, $100 billion doing it. How do you say that that's worse than a basement full of kids dead and doing something like that? And then you got the nerves. I can't quit thinking about it to ask me, why do we care? Because he's an atheist. If you can't muster up one single reason, just one, why you should care, I don't know what to tell you. That's a real life sickness, and I can only suspect that one might be as sick as the people on the screen.
So we should only care if a preacher says that?
I mean,
I shouldn't expect a preacher to say something that's stupid.
Right. Somebody say that? Well,
no, but if we shouldn't care because an atheist said it, should we care if a preacher
right.
says it?
Exactly. Good point. Yes. So what?
No, I shouldn't expect a preacher to say it. I should expect an atheist to say it, but I shouldn't expect them to be this egregiously loud about it, and I should be mad. So yeah, I should care.
Absolutely.
I should care, because here's the thing: it's not rated XXX on YouTube. Children can hear this stuff, and they get influenced by it.
And adults. I mean, obviously it worked. Remember, why should we care? It's normalized now.
This statement is it's scary truth.
Dude,
okay? I'm with you, Romero. It is a scary thought.
Romero, go ahead.
You look at the kinds of people they already put in power for Joe. It's gonna spill. They're already trying to bring the drag queen story hour. bringing kids into stripping clubs, it's gonna spread into the schools, and you are it. I'm 100% behind you on that one. I am concerned too.
And this is why we should care. Romero, I'm gonna tell you what I suggest, man. Do whatever you can, man. Try to figure it out to get them out of there. It's the listen. I can't explain it no better than saying, man, it's the devil's den. And what's so bad is I would really have to question my faith if I decide to send my kids to a public school, especially the public schools in the town where I'm from. When the school that my kids are in, it was that we can't. There was a time where money got really tough, and we owed the school some money, and it was my fault. It wasn't my wife's fault. So I told her, "Look, you stay at home. I got to go front this man and let him know that we don't have his money, and that we're not going to have his money." And the thought of putting my kids in a public school, it brought me to tears. It's crazy. And I know because I did some work in a couple public schools now. I was in them, and I just couldn't imagine having to send my kids there. And I'm not, and don't get this wrong, I don't want nobody to think that I'm trying to say that I think I'm better or my kids are better because we are fortunate enough to have them in a private school. But especially and this and the purpose behind what I'm saying is especially at that time we didn't. But we volunteered at the school, we worked, and we did what we had to do to keep them in there because the principal was the white guy, the white principal. He was white, by the way. Was good enough to work something out with us. And one of the reasons is because he spoke about how well the kids are doing there and how beneficial to the school that they are. And so he worked with us, and I was very fortunate about that. But go talk to somebody, man. I'm serious. I just I can't imagine putting my kids in those schools. I mean, I don't know what I would do. To be honest with you, we say things, but if I'm ever faced with that again, I don't know what I would do. I don't know, man. It's crazy. I know that I would try to do all that I can, because that's a scary thing to do, to have to put your kids in that environment.
Bet you he'd care if Hunter was his kid.
No, or if Hunter was his kid,
Mm-hmm.
or if maybe some kids that you knew was in that basement.
No, I don't think Sam would care then. Not saying. That was facetious. He wouldn't care. You don't make a statement like that with any kind of consideration for other people. You don't. You have to have zero concern for your own, much less for other people to make a statement like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Say, for instance, it's not your children that's on the basement floor, but it's children on the basement floor.
Dude, it could be the children of my enemies, man. I don't, that right there, and call me crazy then, call me soft, call me a punk, call me a beta, whatever you want to come up with, do that. Do that if you so choose to. But please know that I care and that we all should care. And if you don't care, and I'm not trying to be funny or jump on you, but I guess I am jumping on your neck. Seek help. You know what I'm saying? Seek help because you need it. I don't know how you come up with that. I really don't.
It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Lack of God.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that for a fact with Sam. He's self.
It's crazy too, because I know a guy. I wonder if he still do. He claims he's an atheist, but I think he might be saying it for attention or whatever. But even just to even want that much attention to claim that is a bad thing, and it put him in a bad place. But I'm willing to bet you if he'd have been in the room with that guy when he said that, he'd had to have some protection on his neck. even people that even the worst people, man, even people. Listen, I know a lot of different kind of people. I do a lot of different kind of people that'll do a lot of really really bad things to you in an instant. And I'm sure we all know some people like that. And even those people wouldn't say that at all, at all. I'm yeah. Tanya Lot Walker, keep up God's work. Never really understood discernment until you to bring it out of me, the Lord. And appreciate it. Thank we're honored to be have been a part of that. Yep. So what's the history on this guy, and where do you think they really where do you think they really trying to take this to, Merlin?
Okay, so the movement that they have is called New Atheism. Apparently, the old one ain't good enough. You gotta get a new disbelief. Yeah.
So they all are atheists.
Yeah, Hitchens. Let me get the names here. So Hitchens, Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, and Daniel Dennett, and all of them. When I tell you, they're heavy hitters in the atheist realm. Heavy hitters in the atheist realm. You take people, and I mean the good ones. Okay, if you take any big names in Christianity, the good big names, the one that don't got no dirt on them, that's the equivalence of what they are to the atheist movement. They have created archetypes of how people should believe. They hate Judaism. They hate Christianity. They hate the whole concept. They hate Islam. Anything to do with religion, they want dead, and not just gone, dead. They don't tolerate anything to do with Christianity. They don't want it in education. They don't want it in government. They don't want it in politics. They don't want anything to do with God. And they've created a circumstance by which they have gone head over heels in hate. They've gone up against people like Dinesh D'Souza, who has schooled them already, but they relish the idea of that the root of all evil is indeed God. The concept of God is the root of all evil in their world. That none of this world would be the way it is had it not been for the concept of religion, and that the people that created religion are the ones responsible for the downfall of every civilization going forward. That's how far they have taken this new atheist movement, and that's Sam's history. So needless to say, he has gone and studied again, like Corey says, just because you study don't make you smart. He studied every religion, and he's come to the conclusion that they all have the same fallacy, that they follow some deity that tells them what to do, and that removes critical thinking. Apparently, he cannot keep track of his own mind because he just challenged his own idea of critical thinking by speaking the thing he spoke. So I don't know how exactly you can say you're a critical thinker and say in the same breath that dead children don't matter, especially if they've been tortured by a sadistic Parmesan cheese sniffing piece.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know what would drive a person to feel that way. And I think that we should practice caring and doing things about it. So one thing that I know that we can do about it is we can get more involved locally and do a better job at voting and researching and and making our votes count. That's one thing. Another thing we can do is when the opportunity presents itself. For instance, like when a young lady came in from what's called Indiana. What's it called again, Marla? The pedophile catchers,
Predator hunter
support groups like that. Okay, so that more of these people can be exposed. Let's do what we can to help these things get off the ground. What can we do? We can talk to our children about these things so that we can put those things in their heads to get them to understand that this stuff is not normal. It's not normal. You know what I'm saying? And in order for us to know that we need to have these conversations, we need to have these conversations. We need to talk about these things so that we know that they exist. How do I know to defend myself if I don't know that the man behind me got a gun? How do I know to duck? How do I know to fight? I don't. It takes for somebody to say, hey, Corey, dude behind you got a gun and he planned to kill you. And then your family. Then you can protect yourself because you know. Now, on the flip side of that, I might not even know how to protect myself. So I might need the direction to say, hey, listen, you need to duck and then grab him, take him to whatever. But we need to have these discussions so that we know that this stuff exists. So we should care. We have to make it a point to care. Because not caring is being a major part. I said major part of the problem. You don't care.
That's how we got here.
It's how we got here. Because enough people don't care. Because we got people jumping in the comment section, putting this mess in other people's heads saying, why should we care about this? You know what we should do? We should go talk about some gossip stuff. It's more entertaining. See, when we bring up real topics that should be cared about for real, we get less people here to listen. Let's take it back. Everybody here claim they care about this country. Here it is. We had a woman running for president. You say you don't like the condition of the country? We don't at least come in and try to listen to see if there's a better option, even if she can help get us to another place, even if she win or not, whether she win or not, because I don't agree with having a woman president, but I want to hear this woman out because she bringing things to the table. But we don't care enough to come hear it out and decide if we should support her or not, or support her ideology, because we don't care. And we don't care because we got too much hate in our hearts. Hate is how we got here. I'm gonna tell you, Merlin. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm really honestly holding back, but that I don't care stuff is crazy to me. And then when and I don't care, and I don't care. Now let me tell you what I don't care about is how they feel about what I'm saying, because I understand that it's all meant to discredit us. Because Satan don't like what we're doing. And he used every tool that he can to break it apart. Ghetto J spoke on that in that last video he made about people and Satan using the people closest to you. It's bad. And I will hope that we change our minds and learn how to care. We should, you want to get some calls in, Marlon?
Sure. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's hear from the audience. I gotta the number is, let's put the number up here. 877-247-0737. And I see a couple people asked about the email. The email is at the bottom, at the ticker at the bottom. Scroll across the stream, toostrongpodcast@gmail.com. And we try to read literally every message. If we don't respond, does not mean that we didn't read it. It's just so many that it's, we have to really kind of like cipher through them. So, but please send whatever you have. But I'll be honest with you, we don't have time to watch all those videos that people send. We do our own research, and I'm not, trying to be mean, but we typically do our own research.
Trust but verify.
Yeah, we don't typically like listen to somebody else and then just go repeat what they said. We're not into that. Hello, what's your name and where you calling from? Hello. Can you turn us down the back? Yeah, can you turn us down the background? Let me lay down some ground rules real fast. So I forget to say this. So when you call in, as soon as we answer, please be ready, prepared to mute us on whatever device you got us playing on, and please do not talk on a speakerphone. All right. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
I prefer to remain confidential, but I'm calling from North Carolina.
Okay. You don't want to tell us who we talking to?
No, because every time I put comments on your channel or in any other channel, they come after me. So I don't have no social media or anything like that.
All right, go ahead. What's on your mind?
I don't bank and
Okay,
I
okay.
don't bank and I
oh,
use the money.
Okay, go ahead. What's on your mind?
Well, I want to thank you, King, for the hard work that you guys do and for your time and research that you do to awaken some of people up. But the thing is that they don't teach us real history in America. America is currently under martial law. Every president that the American people elect, they are electing the CEO for the corporation. And United States been bankrupt since 1933. Real money does not exist.
What don't
The
exist?
Second Amendment, real money, the U.S. dollar is a note. It's not bad by going silver. We pay taxes to the Queen in the Vatican. When the American people pay taxes, you're paying to the Queen of England. And this, my statement, you can verify this via the Library of Congress.
Okay.
This is a hidden Constitution of 1871.
Does this have to relate to what we're talking about today?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead and connect them for us, so we can get to the next call.
The system that they have in place for us, these people are bankers, are public servants, are bankers. What they do is they take our information and what they do is they commit financial fraud.
So what do you think? What do you think about what this guy is saying about Hunter Biden's about the Hunter Biden having kids in the basement and comparing that to Trump scheming some people out of some money out of some college students or whatever? What are your thoughts on that? Because that's what we're talking about today. You kind of talking about something else.
Well, it's true fact. The thing is that the court system, and they try to hide the true fact from us, because if the truth comes to light, we're gonna rise, because they're committing crimes against humanity, especially our children. You know?
Yeah, man. We appreciate you calling, man. We appreciate you calling. Thanks for the support. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, the number is 877-247-0737. We really appreciate it. 877-247-0737. We would like to hear from you. Let's get it in.
About this topic. Disclaimer about this topic. You might be talking factual stuff, but we need to stay factual about this topic.
I didn't see where it was at.
No, I'm talking about a caller.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. I was kind of thrown off there. Thank you for doing what you do. I care, and you help spread truth. Thank you. We appreciate it. We appreciate that very much. Yeah. 877. I don't know. Maybe it's not working. Some or people just. Yeah. It's just this is a tough one. Like, how do you I don't know, man. I'm kind of stuck with even that I don't care stuff, man. Really got my mind. Like, I'm like kind of stuck on that, man.
Well, I can free it for you. I can free it for you, homie. I could tell you exactly where to direct it. Those people think exactly like Sam.
He's speaking the truth. No wonder Corey and Marlon rushed him off the phone.
That's Peggy. That's good old Peggy.
Hello, what's your name and where you calling from? What's that, trolling? Low-key trolling?
Oh, no, she a fool. She always in here making crap. You should block her
Sharon
permanently.
Lamphere. I'm calling from Maryland.
Hello, Sharon. How you doing today?
Wonderful. Just aggravated
Me too, Sharon.
that people can be so ignorant.
Say it for me. Say it for me, please.
That
Thank
they
you.
say.
Uh-huh.
And all they steadily get away with it. And I just want to ask you guys, maybe if at the end of your show we could pray.
Well, no, we don't. We're not into that. That is not what we're called to do right now.
Okay.
Yeah, we are.
Well,
Yeah, it's just that's not what we're called. Now, if we're sent out to do that,
I
and
understand.
we will. But yeah. So we
I
appreciate it.
understand, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to say And it angers me, the ignorance of people.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. And I'm glad I don't get it, because I had a friend tell me before, Corey, you don't want to get it, because if you get it, you'll probably be just like him. You know what I'm saying? So thank God
Well,
that
I'm telling you, my stomach is turned. My stomach is, I'm sickened.
yeah,
by
the
this.
stuff that you hear people saying now, and it's crazy. But and then they saying it right on TV, like man, it's, you think that's okay, man?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Has our world gotten that callous?
yeah, yeah,
That's scary.
yeah. It is. It is. Yeah.
Very scary. Well, you guys, you're wonderful. I watch you every evening. And I thank you for what you do.
All right, we really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks for the support too.
No problem.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too. Yeah,
I
it's
think. Do you think that's part of our problem? Is that we just don't understand how we got here, but we do, but we don't want to. Like we know how we got here.
I
Let's
think
be honest, we do.
you
But
know
it's
what I
just,
think. I'm gonna tell you what I think part of the problem is. I think that we as a whole, we know how we got here, and we know what it takes to get us out of it, and we don't want to put the work in.
mm-hmm.
The work that's ahead of us is intimidating to some people,
Monumental.
to most people.
Yeah.
It's almost like you playing high school basketball.
You
and
down
you
for 3
good.
games?
No. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it
Okay,
somewhere
good.
else.
Okay, good.
And you good, like you are a high school star. But then it's like, okay, now it's time to go to college, and you're like, oh, now that's different. And then you think ahead and say, and from there, I got to prepare for the NBA. Yeah, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna just mess around in the gym over here. And then when somebody say they want to go to college and they want to go to the NBA, and then you say, well, why you care?
Why you want to
care
go
to do
there?
that?
It's so
Why you
tough
wanna
there.
do
Why
that?
would you go? Yeah,
Yeah,
why would you
do
go?
that? And that's what we're doing. We got a bunch of why would you do that to run around, and that's where the why do we care come in. Why should we care? Like you're not gonna make it anyway, so why care? That's what I think. I think it's the intimidation. Hello, what's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, Corey and Marlon. I'm Betty from Ohio.
Hi, Betty.
Hi, Betty. How you doing?
How you all doing tonight?
El Fantastico.
Well, the reason why I'm calling tonight is I am too happy about this world like you are. And I'm sick and tired of people standing there and making excuses for these people.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be mentally challenged to even think that these people are right. And I'm going to tell you something else. My husband was a prison guard for 30 years. And I don't know how many pedophiles came through that prison and came out and hurt another child. In fact, one man tied a child to a cactus down there and cut off his private. What does it take for them to understand these people are sick? They need to be. You've got a dog in this world, Corey, that is sick. You're going to put that dog down. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. You're right. You're right. You are 100% correct.
So why in the world would you let somebody destroy a child's life?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to get off here so somebody else can call you. You people that keep talking about Corey and Marlon, you need to see a psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's something wrong with your head to even say that these people are right. And you know what? I'm 68 years old. I'll be 69 in November. I just lost my sister. And let me tell you, this world has changed drastically in the last 30 years.
It has. Oh,
And there is no reason for that. None, Corey.
it has changed in the last 5 years. I mean, something crazy. Or let me say this, maybe not as changed in the last 5 years as much as I think. It's been exposed in the last 5 years to a whole nother degree.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right. So
Yes, and you know, you guys are doing a fantastic job. I was a school bus driver. We had to know where these pedophiles was. We could not leave our children off of our bus if we knew they lived next door.
mm,
We had to take them back home if the parents wasn't sitting there.
right. That's good.
Now, if I took the time to protect your child, why aren't you protecting somebody else's child out there?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
And
crazy.
you know, you guys were talking about abortion, a couple of days ago?
Uh-huh.
I had an abortion
Okay.
when I was a young woman. And let me tell you, I still had that scar on my heart. Even though I am a Christian woman today, and I know God forgave me for that.
Right.
That pain is still there. I don't know what that child looked like. I didn't know what the sex was. I know nothing, Corey, nothing about that child.
Right.
But I'm hoping God will bless me when I get to heaven and I get to see that baby.
God is going to bless you before you get to heaven. He's blessing you now because you have the opportunity right here, right now to let it go, give it to God and move forward.
And I am, Corey.
Yeah.
I believe this. That these people think that taking a child out of a woman's womb, like they do with those babies, because you were right. They tear them apart. And that child is moving in you.
Yep.
So where is their thought? Corey, there's something wrong with this world. There is too many people, Marlon, you know, for God's sake, I've heard you talk about this. And I've seen you get bluntly mad at this. These men that's out here raping these women and stuff like that. It doesn't matter if that child, there is nothing involved in that. That is the evilness of Satan coming out of that man.
That's right. And we're going to address it, but let us take another caller. We appreciate the support. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Corey.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Next caller, if somebody want to call in, 877-247-0737. And we really appreciate all the kind donations. It really helps a lot. More than what you think. And we really, really appreciate it. And you notice we don't be on here begging and carrying on, but we do appreciate all that you all do. You've been so kind. Hello, what's your name and where you calling from?
Hello.
What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Carmen. I've been telling everybody about your channel.
Great, we appreciate it.
Getting everybody put on.
Great. Where you calling us from?
I'm calling from New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, I hear the accent a little bit.
You do not know what you
What's
are
on your
talking
mind?
A little Brooklyn accent.
Little Brooklyn in the house. Okay. What you got for us today?
So I was trying to consider how to start this. So I know every year they do that thing at Bohemian Grove where they sacrifice care. And all the time I tell people, we have to care more. We have to be more outraged when things come up. We hear about these drag shows and these people reading to children. Nobody really cares. It just seems that the harder they work, the harder we have to work.
Yeah.
And of course, the kids come first, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And I think it's always put on the back burner, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm really excited to get online with you guys because I was calling over and over and over again. And I was just like, how am I going to start this? But, you know, it is a very important topic. And the way the guy, said that he doesn't care, how many bodies are in a basement is like, that's obscene. They should have gotten angry. They should have rebuked them, admonished him a little bit, and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's constant because it is like very contagious to be that cavalier about kids getting hurt or just injustice in general.
Right.
But you know, as a society, we just don't care.
Yeah, and we really should, and we should care enough to take action instead of just saying that we care. We got to put our feet to the ground and make something happen. And just for the record, even if a person is only in a situation to share the information or talk to somebody about the information or just encourage somebody to do something that can, then that's doing something, because all those things are needed. We tend to think that the only people that matter is the people that's out there visibly doing things, but it's a lot of things, a lot of moving parts that take place, that always take place behind the scenes. Even if you behind the scenes helping, supporting, educating, encouraging, then do that, because all that is needed also. But we cannot continue. Just imagine yourself in a situation as a child in somebody's basement being tortured, and then while we out here,
I think we need to intervene in a more radical way and you know, really champion people when they're having a hard time, because you know, you have like the smaller scale situations where someone's experiencing you know, issues with a spouse and there's abuse at the home, right? And then you have like the larger scale stuff where it's actually happening at school, where they're sharing bathrooms with genders. Like I have a niece that's in school and there's boys and girls using the same bathroom.
yeah,
And I told my sister, I'm like, pull your daughter out of school, get her out of there, because they're being weird, and you have to approach them and let them know, like, leave your weird, you know, thoughts or ideas out of the setting where the school, where the kids are, because they don't need to be uncomfortable, right?
that's right.
And then, you know, it's just, we need to be a little bit more radical, I think. But it's like, how far can we go and be effective and actually, you know, fight what's been going on this whole entire time? Because we, you know, we've been a little too casual with things. We've been letting it go for too long. So it's like, how much harder do we fight, except like if we stop society for a minute and set things right? Because a lot of times issues with the children falls by the wayside. It gets ignored because of taxes, or you know, like you said, even like celebrity issues come up, and it's like, oh my God, everybody's up in arms, but nobody's up in arms when some kind of foster kid is put in danger, and a foster child who's taken from a home that wasn't so bad, and then they end up being murdered in a foster home.
Right.
But nobody really does, you know, care enough to like say, all right, we got to stop society for a minute, set this right, and let's set a priority for the kids. Because, you know, everybody has children, but it's like not a kid-friendly place for us, right?
Right. But we appreciate everything you said, and you're correct. We agree with you, but let us get another call in. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's nuts.
You know, I want to touch on that, on Betty. I don't know how many people have had miscarriages. And I think the reason why abortion, to me anyway, that it's so angering is because when you are trying to have one, or you're happy about one and you lose it, and then you hear of people willingly ending it for pleasure, it gives you a whole different level of anger. And then you take that one step further, and you have this jackass like Sam speaking about the corpses of children at the hand of a pedophile, and thinking that's okay in comparison to possible money laundering. There is a portion of me I know I'm still working with, and I'm sure most men probably work with this fight of controlling the rage that pops up. I probably could speak for Corey that it's there for him too. There's a different type of rage that it traverses your mind, and your body vibrates with anger over this topic. And it gets harder to deal with. every day you hear more of it becoming so rampant. But I am glad that God gave Corey and I this mission. I know both him and I came to this table with a completely different mission in our minds. And he took us both to the side and told us, nah, I got a different mission for you guys. And more he's showing us, him and I, both Corey and I, that he has a place for us to direct our righteous anger. But it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, it's man.
Yeah, to up and feel like that is, it's really, to be honest with you, you get to a point where I would have to go over this show again, because I don't even like I don't know, it's just took me in a la la land for real. And then when people come on and say stuff like that, and I'm specifically talking about the one comment, why should we care? Why do we care? Or do we care? Do you? How dare you make a comment like that and think that it's okay? Hello, caller. What's your name and where you calling from? Yeah. Yep. So, I don't know. I'm lost for words. I guess I can kind of end it by saying, care, and care is an action, and love. I just, after listening to that guy, those guys talk the way they talked, it made me realize that it's a different kind of people out here. And I guess when those kind of comments are made, it kind of make me feel like you may potentially be one of those people or close to it. And that saddens me. That saddens me for the children. That saddens me for the children that are in the basement screaming right now. That saddens me for the children that are in tunnels right now. And y'all know what I'm talking about and the things that's going on. Even it saddens me for the children that are in the house going through this. And then you got the nerve to say, do we care? If you don't, seek help. And I mean that dead serious. If you don't care, seek help, because you really got a problem and you may potentially be one of them. And I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. Please seek help, because I would hate to know or imagine some of the things that you may have done or may potentially do. Because what happens is it's the same thing, the warm frog effect. You don't care a little bit. Now you don't care. You could care even less. And then you don't care at all. Then you'll find yourself not caring so much that you would be indulging. Because why? Because you don't care. Because you don't see much wrong with it. You think it's normal. It's okay. That's just how it is over there. Let it go. All right. But that's not what we're called to do. And some people may not be called to do anything about it. And I sincerely believe that it's just not some people's calling. And for that, I say, that's fine. I'm not God. I can't tell you what you were called to do. But I can tell you this. If you don't care, please stay off of this platform.
Yeah, don't come in here if you don't care.
Don't care from over there.
There.
Not here. Because we care. And we're going to continue to care. And we're going to continue to fight this fight. And we're going to continue to support those who care in any way that we can. Any final words, Marlon?
Man, if I talk anymore, I will be cracking.
Yeah, I feel you. So, look, we appreciate it. We appreciate all that do care. And for those who don't care or don't see a reason to care, we hope that you didn't leave this room today, or that you won't leave this room today without a change of heart. and we would hope that you do care. And for those of you that think that there's no solution to this, I hope that you understand that there is. We may not be able to stop everything, but we can minimize anything. Anything can be minimized. A child can be saved today. And if you have enough care in you to do that, then I suggest that you do. And I hope and pray that you do. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. But before we do, I want to say this to you. Wake up, wake up. And this show today ought to tell you that it's a lot of people that need to wake up before they go to sleep. So wake up before you go to sleep. Peace. We out of here.